the 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
Now entering the game for Philly Pressbox Radio, Bill Furman and Jim Chet Chesko.
It's Tuesday, December 23rd, 2025. Welcome to the Philly Pressbox Radio Roundtable Christmas Show, brought to you by the Irish Rover Station House in Langhorne, PA, Cavs, Philly, Tailgates, and the STT Sports Network. I'm Bill Furman. I'll be your host tonight, along with my partner, Jim Chet Chesko. Chet, the Philadelphia Eagles are back-to-back NFC East champions with a solid win over the Commanders. The Pro Bowl was announced today. 5 Eagles are on, 6 Cowboys, by the way. We'll talk about that. The Flyers lost 5 out of 6 before winning last night against Vancouver in a solid game. Still very much in the hunt, even with a little bad run. The Sixers, they've won 2 games this week, raising their record to 16-11, going into tonight's game against Brooklyn. They're in 4th place, Chet. They moved from 6th to 4th with just 2 wins. The Phillies are in the winter news, trading Matt Strom to Kansas City this week. They have a lot of work yet to do for me, pal. I'm not quite so sure where that Phillies bunch is going. And we'll be making our Week 17 picks, as dreadful as that might be. We have plenty to talk about, as always, in Philly sports.
Yeah, as you indicated, Bill, 3 of the Philly teams are in action these days, of course, with the Eagles and the Sixers and the Flyers. The Phillies also making some moves. That Strom deal not sitting well with a lot of Phillies fans. Time will tell if it was a smart move or not. Meanwhile, JT remains unsigned. Just 2 weeks left in the NFL's regular season, Bill.
As does Ranger. Ranger's out there somewhere along with JT.
That's true.
We'll get to that a little bit later on. Hey, we have a great guest returning tonight in former Eagles tight end, the 2-time USFL champion Ken Dunek. We'll be talking a lot of football with Ken.
The Jersey man himself. Bill, I checked the archives, and this is Ken's 8th visit to our show, dating back to 2016. Always good to have him on with us. But I got to say, I'm a little disappointed that Ken is not wearing that cool Eagles jacket that he has in the promo pic. Come on, Ken.
Let's get to it. Let's welcome Ken Dunek back to Philly Pressbox Radio. Ken, welcome back, and he's already on you, Ken.
Guys, it's in my closet. You should have told me to dress up. I would have worn it for you.
It's the holiday spirit, you know. We are going to talk a little football, Ken. Merry Christmas. And the Eagles, they gave us a nice little early present, I guess, on Saturday evening. A not so pretty first half down in Landover, but a terrific second half, 22 straight points before Washington got that one at the end. What did we learn about this Eagles team in the NFC clinching 29-18 win over the Commanders?
Well, the first thing you realize is they have a great defense. And anytime you have a great defense, you can stop the run and you can rush the ball effectively. In my opinion, you have a chance to win football games. I don't think the Eagles have been as consistent in offense as they need to win the Super Bowl. However, there's still time. We're going to get Lane Johnson back. Hopefully, these next 2 games will get some people some rest. You know, Juergens and Dickerson have been kind of ailing here. We might be able to give them some time off and get that offensive line healthy so we can be a substantive offense again this year.
You know, Ken, I saw a tweet. I actually screenshotted it because I wanted to talk about it tonight, and we're right on it. The tweet said that the Eagles played the hardest schedule in the NFL, a true gauntlet, 11 games against playoff teams from last year, no back-to-back home games, 5 short week games, and here we are, 10-5. We've won the East. Is there a lot more to this team maybe than what the record shows to go along with all those injuries that this team maybe could just be peaking at the right time now?
Well, they're a talented football team on both sides of the ball. They're defending Super Bowl champions. Sometimes we forget that. And I think we've raised the bar so high and our expectations are so lofty now that the slightest slip up, everybody goes into a panic. Listen, Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. I'm happy that he's on the Eagles team. We have really good receivers. We got the best running back in the game. Our offensive line hopefully will get healthy and perform at the level they did last year. So although I'm worried about the consistency, I still think that this team can make a big run in the playoffs, and I don't see any team wanting to play us for sure. That I think is a given.
Bill's going to tell you that I was in panic mode. I was not in panic mode, just a little concerned after that 3-game skid.
He was in panic
I'm okay
mode,
now.
Kid.
Yeah,
I'm okay.
Everybody's concerned because, you expect them to play at a high level, and when it doesn't happen, you're scratching your head about it.
Exactly. Well, Ken, as a former tight end, you got to be impressed with the play of Dallas Goedert of late. 10 receiving touchdowns this season, which has him tied for third in the league, by the way. He's been real good, has he not?
Love Goddard. I was mystified in the offseason. They were talking about getting rid of him or trading him or letting him go. I think they signed him. I believe they signed him to a 1-year deal at a pretty good salary. And I think he's a really fine player. Could he be a better blocker? Yes, he could. But tight ends really don't have to block the way that they used to. It's good if they can. But Goddard is such an effective receiver. They can split him out. He can beat safeties one-on-one. I'm really glad he re-signed with the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Ken, you mentioned all the weapons on that offensive side of the ball. The Pro Bowl was announced today, and only none of them that you named made it. Cam Jurgens is the only guy on the offensive side. Defensively, Mitchell, DeJean, Bond, and Carter were all there. Jordan Davis certainly should have been. What is your take on that as far as maybe the national media and how the Eagles are perceived?
Well, the one thing that really surprised me is Lane Johnson didn't make it. Now, I know he's been injured for a few weeks, but to me, he's the best right tackle in the game. I don't know how you leave him out. The other ones I can understand. A.J. Brown hasn't had the production that he's had. I thought Devontae Smith warranted some consideration at wide receiver. Barkley has come on here lately, and I think it's the fact that he was getting hit in the backfield so often, and now he's actually getting a head start, and the contact is now past the line of scrimmage, which is helping him. So, but the Eagles are a talented bunch on offense. They just need to pull it together.
Well, you just mentioned Saquon Barkley. He had that incredible 2024 season, of course, over 2,000 yards rushing. Many would say he is having somewhat of a down year compared to a year ago. Yeah, I guess, but he does have 1,072 yards on the ground, good for 9th in the league. He's got his average back up over 4 yards per carry. Finally, is he maybe getting hot at the perfect time?
Well, I'll tell you what, did you see that spin move for a touchdown last week? I mean, he does some things that are just amazing. How athletic is he? And he's strong, and he really grinds out the extra yards at the end of the run. So if you ask me of any running back in the league who I would want to play for me, it would be Saquon Barkley.
Ken, you played in the league for a while. It's said that when you come out of training camp, you're hurt, and you continue to be hurt pretty much through the whole entire season. Is that real, first of all, from a guy that's been there? And when you see a guy like Landon Dickerson, who's probably not playing near as well as he has in the past, but he came out of camp and everybody knew he was hurt. Is that real?
Well, I promise you it was real back in the Dick Vermeil training camp days, because we had full scrimmages every day. The guys in training camp, they just don't hit the way that they used to. I mean, and I get it. There's a financial consideration of these players. The team has invested a lot of money in them. They need their top level players to succeed. And I thought when they signed Vic Fangio, when I was at practice the last 2 years, it looked like they were hitting a little bit more than they had in the past. And it's really hard to replicate game speed. And that's why, the big question coming up is, well, now Lane Johnson's healthy. Do you play him? Jalen Carter's now healthy. Do you play him? And you walk a fine line between getting these guys in game shape, ready to play, and risking injury. And that's a decision that I think is going to be really interesting here in the near future.
Yeah, Lane Johnson was not on the practice field today. I have a hunch they're going to sit him out. The Eagles are, I think, 86% locked into the 3rd seed. They could sneak up to the 2nd seed still, but, that being the scenario, I would just rest him until the playoffs. I know they'd like to go to Buffalo and win this Sunday, but it's not crucial. We'll see what happens there. Ken, I want to ask you something. I have a feeling that Bill and I disagree on this, but I'm losing faith in the tush push, and I'm okay if they stop running it. Can we make the tush push go away, or what's your take on it?
Well, it mystifies me because, it was the most dominating play in any sport I've ever seen. It was an automatic. And now, you've lost Jason Kelce. Cam Jurgens is a little bit nicked up. So is Dickerson. And I don't think those guys are getting the push that they were in the past that made that play so successful. Jalen Hurts is really strong. I don't think he's missing anything strength-wise. So in the beginning of the season, they were trying to fool people a little bit. They were running some plays out of the tush push formation, and I don't know. They just kind of lost the continuity there, and I wouldn't get away from it just yet because I do think it's an effective fourth down play. But I read somewhere that the tush push is now less effective than a regular quarterback sneak.
It is, yeah.
Which I find really hard to believe. Yeah. But we'll have to see where that goes.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, I think early in the year when they ran a little pitch off of it and did some other things, they were successful plays. I think the defenses are so lined up against it now. You could still do some things with that. I think that could be pretty good, but they definitely are officiating it a lot tougher now too.
They are. They're looking for that early movement. And the one thing is that I don't think Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson are getting low enough on that play. You've got to dive at the ankles and kind of crawl your way to get that extra yard. And it just doesn't look like they're getting low enough to beat the defense at this point.
Hey, Ken, Bill mentioned this guy earlier, did not make the Pro Bowl. Jordan Davis, what do you think about his play of late? He has looked dominating as a defensive tackle.
You took the words out of my mouth. He's dominating. What a run stopper he is. It's funny. They have Brandon Graham playing inside now, and he's getting a great push too, which may help teams get off of doubling Jordan Davis a little bit. But I thought he had Pro Bowl consideration for sure. Not only do I like the way he plays, I like the way he speaks. He's a very well-spoken, eloquent kind of a guy that seems to say all the right things. And I think he's matured over the last year or two. So, again, really a good player for the Eagles to have on their defensive line.
And it's a contract year. It's going to be a real situation, I think, for Howie Roseman. I think we would have all thought going into this year that he's probably a guy you're not going to pay the money to and you're going to let him walk. Yeah. I'm not sure you're thinking that today.
No, I think you got to pay him. But then it becomes a point of how many guys do you pay? Jalen, right. You have to pay Jalen Carter. You've got some young defensive backs now that are coming in their second, third years of their contracts. And really the NFL has become a salary cap management type of a game. And a lot of times you see some good players let go just because there's not enough room to pay everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, Ken, one of our viewers, PJ, notes that Jake has to get straightened out. Talking, of course, about the kicker, Jake Elliott. He's had a tough go of it of late. Are you concerned about the kicker?
Well, it's hard for me to criticize guys that went to my alma mater, Memphis University. So I'm going to be a little bit easier on Jake. But, hey, listen, I'm a golfer, and every once in a while my swing goes haywire, and I start duck hooking some shots, and you got to get to the range and figure it out. I still think Jake has the leg strength to be a good kicker. I'm not really concerned that he's missing 57 yarders. I'm a little concerned when he's missing 42 and 43 yarders. But, at this point, who are you going to bring in? There's nobody out there that's going to be as good as Jake Elliott. You just got to make him work through it. And I really do believe he will. I think he's a fine kicker that's just going through a bad time right now.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to mention back on Jordan Davis for just a second and your comment about the way he speaks. Did you happen to see any of the little clips where he sings with the Kelce and Johnson and them in their melodic in their music video? He sings like a bird.
Well,
I mean, he's fantastic.
Melodi's a good singer too. Where do these guys get this talent? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if I sang, I would clear out the room. So I don't have any talent in that area. But it's also fun to see these guys having a good time away from the game, and it kind of builds camaraderie, getting together and doing this fun kind of stuff. If you remember the Bears with the Super Bowl shuffle and all that kind of thing. So, football is a high pressure game, especially for the money these guys are making, and to see them, get off the field and relax a little bit and have some fun, it's a good thing.
Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, I did want to say to you, Ken, get your opinion. The lightning rod on this club is Jalen Hurts. Chet and I don't agree much on Jalen Hurts. He thinks he's a bum. I think he's pretty darn good.
Not true.
You just don't think he's all that. I don't think he's
elite. I think he's very good. I think he's in that second tier, very close to elite.
So, Ken, somebody that actually knows football, what's your thought on Jalen Hurts?
Oh, boy.
Listen, I like Jalen Hurts. I think he's got the tools. I don't think this system serves him very well. For example, they're putting him under center now, which is going to help him because it helps the run game and the play action pass. The Eagles don't do a lot of motion. They don't do a lot of triple stacks where they run these rub routes and everything. Motion is really important in an offense because it tells the quarterback whether they're playing man or zone. And for whatever reason, Patullo just doesn't want to do that. So I think Jalen's fine. I don't think the system has suited him yet, but I think Patullo is kind of maturing in this play calling position, and he's gotten better lately, and I hope that improvement continues.
Ken, I'm going to put up the NFC playoff picture right now. As I said, the Eagles are most likely going to get the third seed. They still have an outside shot at the second because the Bears do have a couple of tough games remaining. Who would you like to see the Eagles play? In other words, who would be the best opponent for the Eagles in the first round? It could be the Seahawks, could be the Rams, could even be the 49ers, or, of course, the Packers if they sneak into that spot.
Yeah, those are all tough games. I mean, if you made me choose one, even though they played well last night, I would probably want to play the 49ers or the Seahawks. I think those are the two most beatable teams. I think the Seahawks, they're very good, but they're not used to being in this position. And when you enter into the playoff season, it's a completely different animal. I personally think the Rams are the best team, not only in the NFC, I think they're the best team in the NFL. And that would be a matchup that I would want to avoid, certainly early on.
Yeah. Hey, Ken, before we get too far along here, I don't want to miss this opportunity. You've got a lot going on with your Jersey Man business. Tell us a little bit about what you got. And you just had a Christmas dinner, you mentioned.
We did. Well, yeah, I'm pretty busy for an old guy. I'm going to be 69 years old. I'm working like I'm back in Dick Vermeil's training camp. But yeah, we just had a great charity event. Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine. We just turned 15 years old, which people, when they heard I was starting a magazine, when other people were getting out of the business, they thought I was crazy. But I had this vision for a magazine that featured men's content, and it's been an interesting ride. We have these private networking groups that kind of fund the ability to produce this magazine. It's mostly a digital magazine now. We went to that format during the pandemic, and it worked out so well. We stayed with it. You can read Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine for free on our website. We do print some promotional copies and send some to some subscribers. But, we've got a great business clientele within the magazine that support us. And we had our Unmasking the Legacy Gala a month ago. We drew about 550 people to Ballroom at the Bend, raised a record amount for charity. Our winner this year was Marla Vitullo, who is an ex-Eagles cheerleader, and her $15,000 award went to the Eagles Autism Foundation. So
wow.
I was very happy about that. And all of the charities that were represented made some money for their respective charities. And then last night we had our holiday party. We moved it to a later date this year because of a conflict with the venue, and we weren't sure that many people were going to show up. Well, we sold it out with 225 people at the Cherry Hill Mall. The only problem was it was hard to park because everybody was Christmas shopping, and so it was hard to get in there. But I feel very humbled and blessed at the success that we've had. And the main thing is we're helping people make business connections that are helping them succeed. And that's always been my focus. I always thought money might be a byproduct if you could help enough people. And it's turned out to be right. So I'm really proud of what we've established here. I work with two of my daughters, Ashley and Alex, and that's a blessing for me. So yeah, for an old guy, I'm having a pretty good run here, guys.
I must say, and don't think I'm weird, but You got some beautiful daughters, so they didn't get those looks from you, Ken.
Well,
No,
believe me, you're not the first person that said that. As a matter of fact, they remind me every day. I'm glad we look like mom, dad. So I'm glad you brought that.
Exactly.
I'm well aware of that.
Hey, the last time I talked with you was last January. I talked with you and John Bunting in the days ahead of the Philly Sports Writers Association banquet, in which they honored those Philadelphia and Baltimore Stars. How much fun was that, seeing so many of your old teammates at that event?
It was unbelievable. You know, Sean Landetta came to our party yesterday. He still lives in the area in Yardley, and there were a lot of Eagles and Giants fans excited to see him. Of course, I stay in contact with Chuck Fusina, our quarterback, who's remained not only one of my greatest friends, but one of the best people I've ever known. You know, Sam Mills was on that team that is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Of course, Sam died tragically several years ago, and it was just then you had rookies like Kelvin Bryant and Irv Eatman and Bart Oates, and it was really a stacked football team, and it was so much fun. I don't know how much you guys remember about those days, but the Eagles were struggling, and we really took the city by storm, and we won the championship beating George Allen in Arizona in 1984, and then we had to move to Baltimore. Had we been able to stay in Philadelphia and reap the success that we had earned, I really believe we would have been selling out Veterans Stadium, and it would have been a great success. But it didn't work out. I don't have any regrets. For a guy who didn't play high school football, I have a lot of jewelry, and we didn't make much money back then, but we did get some rings and watches out of the deal. So, but I'm really proud of my association with that team. It was just a great fun with a great bunch of people.
Hey, Ken, I don't know that Chet probably doesn't have this at his fingertips. He does when you're on with us. Is your display still in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton?
It is. You know, it's funny. Everybody that I know that goes to Canton and sees my jersey hanging next to Jim Kelly in the USFL exhibit, they call me and they say, "Hey, do you know your jersey's in the Hall of Fame?" I say, well, of course I know my jersey's in the Hall of Fame. But that was a situation where I had the USFL trophy for our Stars reunion. I was going to send it back to Carl Peterson, and he said, "Wait, the Hall of Fame wants the trophy." So the guy from the Hall of Fame calls me and says, "Do you have a game jersey?" And I said, "Yeah, why?" He goes, "Well, throw it in the box with the trophy." I said, "Well, you don't want my jersey. You want Sam Mills or Kelvin Bryant or Chuck Fusina or one of the Stars." And he said, "No, you were there all 3 years, and you were a main part of that team, and we want your jersey." So, I almost feel embarrassed that it's there because so many more people are deserving than I am. But, it's my daughters see it and they got a kick out of it. And it's just one of those crazy things that happen. Like everything I've done in my professional life, I kind of backed my way into the Hall of Fame. but I'm there anyway, and I'm proud.
Nothing to be embarrassed about, my friend.
Nothing wrong with that.
Thank you, guys.
Chet, what do you got? Oh,
we are out of time.
Great job.
This time.
Great job pulling up that picture.
I did. I found it. Yeah, there it is again. Ken Dunek and Jim Kelly side by side. I love it.
I wonder how Jim Kelly feels about sharing that display with me. I'll have to talk to him sometime.
Yeah.
Jim's a pretty good guy. I bet he likes it too.
Well, he comes to Jaws's golf tournament, and for some reason I never get to talk to him, but I'm going to seek him out this year. We'll have a laugh over that, I'm sure.
I'll hit you up with one final question, Ken. The college football playoffs. How do you see it going? Who are you rooting for?
The state of college football really concerns me because of everything that's going on. First of all, the schedule is a mess. For these coaches to be able to leave their teams in the midst of a national championship run makes no sense to me. And that's one thing the NCAA has to fix it. Listen, the NIL money is what it is. But if you're going to have players playing as professionals under contract, they've got to adhere to contractual standards, whether it's they have to stay 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 years, or they're not going to get the money. I think there's a way that the NCAA can do it, but as it is right now, I don't think it's sustainable. Having said that, I think Indiana and Georgia are probably my 2 favorites to go ahead and win the whole thing. I would throw Ohio State in there. I will say as a dark horse, I think Texas Tech is a really good football team, and I think they're going to take care of Oregon, who's also a good team. And it wouldn't surprise me if they knocked off a team or two. But, you know, the playoffs are always exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
Hey, Ken, what would you think if you were 18 or 19 or 20 years old again and being a big football player and somebody said, hey, Ken, how about maybe $1 million to come play college football for us?
I'm sure I would have made more money in college than I did in my entire professional career. I have a funny story. I was talking to a coach of a team, and this guy's worked hard. He worked his way up to a lofty position in college football. And he says, you know what's funny? He goes, I worked my whole life to live in this one neighborhood. And now I have a player that we signed that is my next door neighbor. So, you know, it's a crazy situation with college football. I hope they get it straight because it remains a really good game.
Ken, that will do it. We have used up all of our time with you. This was great. Let's make it an annual tradition.
That's 8 years in a row. Let's go for 9 next year, guys.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you having me on. Thanks a lot. And wishing you guys and all of your viewers and listeners a Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thanks, Ken. And right back to you and your family as well.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. Hey, Chet, Philly Pressbox Radio, part of the STT Sports Network, as in Set the Trends. It's a network set up by our pal, Phil Stifel, host of the terrific Trending in the AM show that you can find every weekday morning on the STT Sports Network YouTube channel. Check out Phil and be sure to subscribe to the channel. Phil's show is on there, and yes, so is ours. You can find Philly Pressbox Radio there in addition to on our own YouTube channel and on our Facebook page. Again, it's the STT Sports Network setting the trends for what sports talk should be. And Chet, Phil is working very diligently to try to get to his 1,000 followers, and he's getting really close. If there's anybody watching us, listening, that wants to check it out, go to Phil's Trending in the AM and like his page on the STT Sports Network.
I'm a little jealous because he's been doing his shorter than us, and we're stuck in the upper 700s, so we're not even at 800 yet. So come on, people. If you're watching the show and you haven't yet subscribed on YouTube, please do us a solid. Subscribe.
Do us a solid. We need a Merry Christmas to us. What do you think?
Yeah.
Like. Hey, Chet, holidays, ugly sweaters. You got all kinds of stuff going on. By the way, that was an ugly Eagle sweater. Where'd you get that thing? What's going on at the Irish Rover Station House?
You are just jealous. There it is. Last Thursday night. Look, it's the Christmas Story, a Christmas Story lamp with underneath it says, Go Birds. And there's the lovely ladies from the Irish Rover Station House in their lovely, not ugly sweaters. So, yeah, we had a good time, a great time had by all. I didn't compete in the ugly sweater contest. I was just a judge, and I got a lot of compliments on that sweater, I must say. Now, back to the Rover and what they have going on. First of all, I will tell you they will be closing Christmas Eve, which is, if you're watching us live, tomorrow, Wednesday, closing at Christmas Eve at 6 p.m. And if you're looking for a takeout order, you got to get that in by 5 p.m. Christmas Eve. They will be closed then on Christmas Day. Otherwise, though, you know the Rover has 24 beers on tap all the time, music most weekends, and they will have music this Saturday night, courtesy a couple of the guys from Jumper. The Irish Rover Station House is located on Bellevue Avenue in Langhorne, and you don't have to wear an ugly sweater to get in there. You can also find them on the web at irishroverstationhouse.com.
Hey everybody, this is Zeke Mitchell of Hazy Cosmic Jive. You're watching Bill and Chet on Philly Pressbox Radio. Come see Hazy Cosmic Jive January 9th at Brooklyn Bowl, Philly. Looking forward.
Very good. Hey, Chet, I have a little something I got to throw out here right quick while we just have one extra second. You and this guy agree on something, which just makes it even more ridiculous.
Well, it is scary when I agree with Malloy on anything, but yeah, he's right. He's close to elite, Jalen Hurts, that would be. And he's very, very close.
Well, the one thing about this comment and you and him agreeing, we could just throw the blanket over both of you and just dump you out because you obviously don't have it together.
Get your eyes checked, Bill.
I will come Super Bowl, again. But there you go. All right. We talked briefly last week about the Phillies signing free agent outfielder Adolis Garcia apparently to replace Nick Castellanos. Then we learned right before our show they signed right-handed reliever flamethrower Brad Keller. This week they nearly gave away left-handed pitcher Matt Strom to Kansas City. They signed left-handed relief pitcher Kyle Backhouse of the 4.62 career ERA. Chet, are these real moves, or we cost-cutting measures to sign another big fish? As you mentioned earlier, JT is still out there. Ranger is still out there. This team, as we sit, we'll call it Christmas Eve, is not better than they were at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think there's still more to come. The Strom trade for me was the real head scratcher last week. He's been a solid reliever for the Phils during his time, a 2.71 ERA during his 3 seasons with the Phils. But I think he pissed off Dombrowski a little bit when he made that comment about the team maybe not doing enough pitcher fielding practice, and that perhaps led to the Kerkering miscue in the postseason. But yeah, with Strom gone and the uncertainty about just how good Justin Crawford's going to be, assuming he's the everyday center fielder. And of course, the fact that JT is not signed yet, at least, and the fact that everybody is a year older, it's hard to say the Phillies are any better today than they were 2 months ago, as you indicated. So what do you say? Do you think there is more to come? Maybe a Bohm trade or a Stott trade?
Well, I keep thinking to myself, let's just say you trade Bohm, okay? And who are you going to get that you're going to plug into the lineup that's going to make this big, huge difference, be that much better than Bohm offensively and defensively to be a difference maker? You're going to trade basically 1 for 1 and say we did something because we got a guy 2 years younger. I mean, how are you getting better? Because really all you have left to trade is Stott and Bohm. Marsh, you have no catcher. You don't have a big league catcher. The 40-man roster still has Johan Rojas on it, and Wes Wilson is still on the 40-man roster. You still have Sosa. You got all these guys, Marchand, Stubbs. They're all still on the 40-man roster. I don't know how you make a move to make better, and the fact that you have Castellanos, so you're probably going to have to give him away at this point, because you've made it clear you don't want him.
Exactly. He's got no trade value, and we got to hope that Justin Crawford is the real deal. We don't know. Hasn't played one game at the major league level as yet. Don't know how the left field situation is going to.
Yeah, he's going to struggle. I mean, he may end up having a nice season, but there's going to be ups and downs. He's a rookie that's never played. You can't expect him to come in and hit 350.
You could still make a trade for a Marte or a Bregman, but I don't know. But I do think there is more to come. I just don't know how big a deal. They also got some other reliever yesterday, a guy named Zach Pop, who has been awful. Although somebody said on social media, that's going to be a great Father's Day gift jersey. Pop, because a Phillies jersey with Pop on it. So
yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. One thing about come Christmas time means February, March is not far away, and that's spring training time. There's going to be moves. They better be coming quickly.
Is Bob Moser giving us some bad info here? He says Bohm was traded today. I had seen nothing about that. So somebody please investigate that, because I hadn't seen anything on that front.
I did not see that either.
We'll get our best people on that. But Bill, while we're talking about the Phillies, I just want to mention that, and I mentioned this last week, I've been a member of the Philly Sports Writers Association for a few years now, and our annual awards banquet is coming up next month at the DoubleTree by Hilton in Cherry Hill. Honorees to include ESPN anchor Kevin Neghunt, Penn Hoops coach Fran McCaffrey, the legendary Lou Scheinfeld from the Flyers organization, Broad Street bully extraordinaire Dave the Hammer Schultz, and the headliner for the event, that would be none other than the Cy Young runner-up Christopher Sanchez, who will be in attendance to accept that award. That'll be fun. That'll be cool. The 2026 PSWA banquet happens on Wednesday, January 21st, again at the DoubleTree by Hilton in Cherry Hill. Tickets available through phillysportswriters.com.
There you go. And when is that? You're going to be going to that?
That's Wednesday, January 22nd. So that's going to make for another schedule change. We're going to do our show Thursday that week if all goes well. And since we're talking a little Phillies, one other Phillies note, Bill, we had a birthday the other day, and it's a guy that you and I have both met over the years, the legendary lefty, Steve Carlton, celebrating birthday number 81. How about that? How'd that happen? 81, Bill.
That's what I was going to say. How did that happen?
And speaking of birthdays.
Nobody did it better, my friend.
Oh, that is true. Speaking of birthdays, Robbie Ellis, who I just happened to see last weekend at an event. Robbie Ellis celebrating a Christmas Eve birthday. She was, or maybe still is, out for dinner this evening with her guy, Bob. And yet she's watching the show also. So happy birthday, Robbie. And I feel sorry for anybody who has a birthday right around Christmas. You get cheated out of gifts.
Happy birthday, Robbie.
Yes.
Thanks for your loyalty to our program. We appreciate you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Chet, your Philadelphia 76ers has climbed into fourth place in the East going into tonight's game against Brooklyn. I seem to be saying two things every week, Chet. One is Tyrese Maxey is really good. And two, this team's hard to figure out. They're hanging in there with this makeshift lineup every night. And if you said start the playoffs today, you would have no idea who would be on the court.
Yeah, that is true. We're pretty much resigned to the fact that everybody's saying happy birthday to Robbie, which was nice. Happy birthday, Robbie. Happy birthday, Robbie. Denny knows Robbie, so happy birthday. Glad you're enjoying yourself, Robbie. I think we're pretty much resigned to the fact that Joel Embiid will be a question mark almost every game this season. Kelly Oubre Jr. is still out of action, coming up on 6 weeks for that knee sprain. He's been out since November 14th, but he is at least now doing individual workouts and doing some shooting, so he's getting closer, they tell us. And a newcomer to the team this year, Trendon Watford, played only a couple of games. He's been out for quite a while. He, too, though, is continuing with his individualized workouts and hoping to get back into action before too long. He's got a left adductor strain. Still, all that considered, they're 16-11. As you said, fourth place in the NBA East, just one game out of third. So I think they're legit, Bill. I think they're legit. I'm not getting excited yet, but I think they're a legitimate playoff contender.
Yeah, and I hate to say it this early in the season, but are they only going to be as good as Maxey can take them? I don't know that, but boy, he sure is playing at a high level.
He is, but VJ Edgecombe, who had the great start and then a major slump, is now picking it up again, although I think he was iffy tonight with an illness. McCain continuing to, get back into form, so he'll be all right. Quentin Grimes, I like him off the bench. Some nights he's great. Some nights the shooting's not there. And Oubre, I think, is a great addition, as far as depth when he's available. So hopefully he'll be back soon. It would be so great, as we said last week, and we're still waiting to see all these guys healthy at the same time and see what they can do.
Yeah, well, that was my point. It seems like every night it's somebody different, and who knows what they have. If the playoffs started right now, don't know who they'd have to run out there.
Yep.
All right. Hey, what could be better than Eagles playoff tailgating with the best tailgaters in Philadelphia? Bob Cavanaugh and the gang at Cavs Philly Tailgates.
Cavs Philly Tailgates has been cooking up a terrific catering business for some 35 years now. You know them best for their tailgate parties. Cavs is a 3-time winner of Philly Tailgates, Jack Daniels Great American Tailgate Party Contest, and a past winner of the Philly Daily News Tailgate Award. Cavs also does corporate events, parties, you name it. Of course, Cav hosts tailgates before all Eagles games outside the link. And yeah, there is one still to come. You know that. The season finale, the regular season finale on Sunday, January 4th. Those Commanders coming back to town. You can get details on that event, which will take place a few hours before kickoff. Again, get the details at phillytailgates.com. And if you do have any questions, you can email them at cavscatering@verizon.net. Cavs Philly Tailgates is the way to go. You hear that, Bill? You hear that?
Whoa.
It's time. We're going to do it.
Shows.
We're going to do
no
it.
Award shows.
Bill, I'm not sure if you know this, but today is Festivus, when it's okay to air grievances. And I'm hearing a lot of people complaining that I don't do random Chet segments quite enough. Please don't fact check me on that. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
But anyway, in a way to make those handful of people, maybe, happy. I do indeed have a random Chet segment, so sit back and enjoy for the next 3.5 minutes. Seinfeld fans are well aware that December 23rd is Festivus, a sort of holiday that features not only an unadorned aluminum pole, but feats of strength and, yes, an airing of grievances. So here in 2025, well, there are some things that have me ticked off on the Philly sports scene and beyond. First up, remember, about 8 or so years ago when Eagles fans said they would gladly take one Super Bowl title, even if it were followed by 8 to 10 years of dreck. Well, the Eagles did, of course, get that Lombardi trophy after the 2017 campaign, went back again after the 2022 season, almost won it, and then they did win a second Lombardi trophy after the 2024 season. Yeah, just last February. And yet, you guessed it, complaints galore pretty much every week, every month. You know, Nick Sirianni is just a CEO coach, nothing more. Patullo's an idiot. Jalen Hurts is overrated. And on and on and on. That's Philly fans for you. Number 2, sports contracts. You know, when I was young, I always figured I would never be one of those old guys who complained about the massive contracts that pro athletes sign. Look, kudos to those players and their agents who were able to get those $30, $40, $50 million a year deals, but it just boggles the mind. I mean, the Mets' Juan Soto last winter signed that 15-year, $765 million contract that averages to $51 million per season, or about $365,000 per game. And that, of course, is even for games in which he'd make a 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. It is what it is, I guess. Contract craziness isn't limited to pro athletes anymore, of course, thanks to the whole name, image, likeness thing. Remember, for the longest time, the NCAA prohibited athletes from making money from their personal brand. Well, that went by the wayside, I guess, about 4 years ago. And now top college athletes do sign multi-million-dollar contracts with NIL collectives. And many critics say this has ingrained a sense of greed into those athletes, while also leading to an erosion of school and team loyalty. Grievance number 4, my 10-9-8 76ers. And no, I'm not going to knock Joel Embiid here for his inability to stay healthy, even though, yeah, some of it may be on him for not always being in tip-top shape. I do think he really wants to be out on the court and would like to be out there, you know, as often as possible, especially with the team now looking like a legitimate playoff contender. My issue is just the frustration this franchise has put us through in recent years, from the whole Ben Simmons, I ain't gonna shoot thing, to the brief Jimmy Butler and James Harden eras, to load management, to the ridiculous amount of injuries this team seems to suffer. It's just worn me down, man. Number 5, the Phillies, and what I fear may be an inability to get back to the World Series with the current group of players. Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, and Trey Turner will all be 32 or 33 for the bulk of the 2026 season, while JT Realmuto, if he is in fact back, will be 35. Pitchers Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler are on the other side of 30 as well, so we'll see how it goes. Now, if my radio partner, Bill Furman, were to do a list of grievances, I'm pretty sure that Phil skipper Rob Thompson would be on there, plus baseball's ghost runner rule, and of course, yeah, hockey shootouts. But those are his complaints, not mine. Still, I got a lot of problems with you people. Anyway, though, happy Festivus and Merry Christmas, everyone. Was I right?
Excellent list. Excellent.
Was I right for you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And the whole college football thing too, with the coaches able to leave and the time.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you know, it's funny you talked about the NIL. We were sitting there last night. I don't know if you paid close enough attention to it, but during the Colts 49ers game, and there's a commercial on for, I don't even know what they were selling, and it was the young Manning. It was the college Manning doing the commercial. I'm like, come on. I said to my wife, I said, you know, this is nuts. It's just nuts.
It is indeed.
You bet. Hey, good list.
Today's sports world, it is the way it is.
Maybe what we need to do next week, Chet, because we're going to be celebrating Christmas and New Year's here next week. Maybe what we need to come up with is our 5 or 10 best moments of 2025.
Ooh.
And we know the first one, right, is winning the Super Bowl. So we know that. But so maybe we can make it, let's say 7. Let's do 7.
We're going to have a jam-packed show next week, Bill.
Yeah, let's come up. Well, I don't know who's on, so
I know.
I just
I'll
made
tell you
that
in a
up.
minute.
But we'll let's do that. Seven top 7 moments in 2025 Phillies.
We're going to have to remind each other, of course, on Monday or so to do this.
yeah, absolutely. All right, it is time to make our weekly picks. How did Boop Bobatron Jr., you and me do in week 16?
Well, actually, not bad. We did okay in week 16, Bill, as I look for and hopefully find the standings. Yeah, there we go. Boop and I were both 5-1, so I remained 3 games ahead of him for the non-existent trophy. While you, Bill, were 4-2, not bad to fall another game back. You are now 8 behind me with just 2 weeks remaining. I think you are tanking, Bill. You're looking for that high draft pick.
Yeah, I am. You know what? There's been some weeks, Chet, I'd have trouble picking the winner of a one-team game.
That is true.
All right. Well, just clarify, even though it's week 16, how we do this. We pick the winners of 5 games every week, no point spreads, always the NFC East games, always a Sunday night football game, and then we throw in additional games as needed to get to 5. So this week we have 5, and we've had one add-on. And that's going to be, are you ready with Boop's information?
I just found them. Yep, I found them.
Okay.
Haven't looked at them yet.
All right. So we have the Texans at the Chargers on Saturday. We're covering Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday here too, Chet. Texans.
Yeah, they have 3 games on Christmas for the NFL this year on Thursday.
Right. And I think you have to pay for all of them somewhere, 2 of them, don't you?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. That's another beef.
Oh, good one. Good one.
Yeah. Texans at the Chargers Saturday. Chargers -2.5.
All right. Boop says, since starting 0-3, Houston's only 2 losses have been to the 2 current number 1 seeds, the Seahawks and the Broncos. How about that? Boop is picking those Houston Texans to rebound. I, however, am going to go with the host LA Chargers.
I'm going with Houston, and they're going to play defense, and they're going to win that game.
All right.
All right, gets us to, well, let's jump ahead to Sunday night football since it's not an East game. Let's go Bears at 49ers, Sunday night football. The Niners coming off an impressive win last night, and the Bears coming off a miracle comeback.
Yeah.
Niners -2.5 at home.
That Bears game Saturday was amazing. Boop says in 11 of their 15 games so far, San Francisco has gained more first downs than their opponent has scored points. That is some interesting stuff, Boop. Boop's pick is the Niners, and yeah, I am also taking the Niners.
Well, and I've got to find a game, at least one game somewhere different than you guys, so I'm going to go Bears. But boy, the 49ers looked really good last night.
Yeah, they did.
Cow. All right, Dallas at Washington. That's a Thursday Christmas Day game. Dallas -6.5.
Boop says Dallas gets to do what the Eagles did last week, take its frustrations out on Washington. Boop is picking the Cowboys. I'm also picking the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm picking the Cowboys again. They still stink.
They do.
Yeah, just had to throw that in there. And talk about stink. How about the Giants at the Raiders?
Oh, there's Raiders, a game for you.
Raiders -1.5.
Oh
my goodness.
Boop says one or both of these teams is going to dodge its 10th straight loss. Wow. They both have lost 9 in a row. Boop is picking the Giants. Nope. I'm taking the host Raiders.
Yeah, I'm taking the Raiders too. Hey, I saw a thing, Chet, that said that the Giants have 9-game losing streaks in 3 of the last 7 seasons.
Wow. That's tough to do.
That is
But
really.
they did it.
Yep. All right. Eagles at the Bills. Bills -2.5.
Ooh. This was a tough one for me. Let's see what Boop says first. Boop says, wondering just how many different ways Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen can produce points in this game. Boop is taking the Eagles. Bill, I'm not a hater. I'm not. But I'm taking Buffalo to win this game. I hope I'm wrong.
You are. Eagles are going to win this game because the Buffalo Bills aren't quite as good as the media wants to make you think they are. If you watch their games and actually watch them play, they're good. They're not that good. So,
and you know what? This is their big opportunity now with Mahomes and the Chiefs out of the picture for this year.
right.
They have to, get past some up and coming teams like the Broncos with a young quarterback in Bo Nix, and Pittsburgh, who may be in there with an old quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, but there's certainly no dominant team. New England, of course, with Drake May, another young quarterback. This is Buffalo's big opportunity, I think, to finally get back to the Super Bowl. So we'll see if they do it or not.
Yeah. Speaking of Bo Nix, how about that Pro Bowl snub?
Oh, really? He got snubbed. Wow.
He did not make the Pro Bowl.
Drake May make it for New England?
He did. He was one of them. And Sam Darnold. Who am I missing?
How about those games? Thursday night, the Seahawks and Rams, and then Saturday night, the Packers and Bears. Two amazing finishes in both of them.
Yeah, they were. Just
wow.
Crazy good football there at the end, that's for sure.
Overtime.
All right, let's get to our margin of victory pool. How are we doing after 16 weeks? We're
no
running
major
out of
changes.
teams.
No major changes this time around because this past week, Boop and I both took Houston, and so we did get a couple of that's us first and second. Looks like I cut off the names. Yeah, Boop and I both got 2 points for the Houston narrow win. You, Bill, actually made up a little ground because you took the Eagles, and they won by 11. So right now, it's Boop at 184, me at 151. You just 4 behind me now, 147. And I don't know if there's enough time for either of us to catch Boop, but you never know.
Yeah, you're in trouble. I'm coming after you.
Probably.
All right. So who do we have? Who's Boop got?
Oh, Boop says, wow, Boop is taking the Dallas Cowboys to beat the Commanders. And he's probably got a good pick there because Washington, I don't know what the status is of Mariota. I mean, if they're stuck with the third stringer, Josh Johnson, right?
Well, he was good, wasn't he?
Oh, how is he still in the league?
For like his 12th year. He's a millionaire.
Yeah, crazy. That's a good pick. Boop is taking Dallas. I already took Dallas, I think. I'm not sure, but I'm taking Jacksonville over your Indianapolis Colts.
Hey, stop that. All right. Well, I am taking those Denver Broncos over the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
Why not?
And let's see. We're sure you never took them before, right? Okay. You never did. Okay, you're good. You're good. You're good.
All right. I like my chances there.
Good luck.
Right, hey, we're going to stay on our Tuesday schedule next week since it's New Year's Eve. Will be Wednesday. Who is coming to Philly Pressbox Radio to join us for our New Year's show?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Bill. Yeah, Tuesday. And by the way, that will be our 53rd, 53rd and final full show of the year because of the way the calendar worked out. We did a show very, very early in January last year. And we're doing one very late in December this year. So 53 shows and number 581 overall. We will have a visit from Kevin Cooney, who's heard a lot these days at 97.5 The Fanatic. He's going to talk Philly sports with us and go over his 2026 MLB Hall of Fame ballot, which we do every winter with him.
I already hit him up on it, too.
Oh, did you?
Yes,
so there you go.
did.
That'll be fun. And we will also have a chat with the guy that you saw about 20 minutes ago, the founder of the Bowie tribute band, Hazy Cosmic Jive, Zeke Mitchell, to talk a little bit of rock and roll ahead of his band's January 9th show at Brooklyn Bowl, Philly. His band is great, and I can't wait to see them again. And yes, it will be another Tuesday show next week, Tuesday the 30th at 7 p.m.
All right. Looking forward to that. It should be fun. Hey, we want to hit on the Flyers, Chet. They lost 4 of their last 5 before last night, where they had a nice win. All losses by 1 goal, 2 shootout. They're playing good hockey, but man, these 1-goal games are close every night. But one thing I think, if we haven't established anything else here before we hit the new year, when you actually start watching, Dan Vladar has established himself as the number 1 goaltender, and if they're going to win, he's going to play.
I was a little worried because over the weekend he missed the Saturday game with one of those dreaded upper body injuries.
Upper body injury.
It's always
that means like he had a headache. Do you think that means upper body injury in hockey? Is that a headache?
even with when the Tyson Forster got hurt a few weeks back, I mean, we saw it was something with the shoulder or whatever.
Yeah.
They called it an upper body injury, and he's out for the season, of course.
It's only two injuries. Upper body, lower body.
Yeah, that's it. That's it in hockey. Vladar, though, did come back and played really, really well in the Monday night win. Gave up that fluke goal in the final minute, which, hurts the goals against average, but he has been really good. And how about the Flyers offense? The new kid they just called up, he looks good. So they're fun to watch, and they're in second place now in the Metro division.
Yeah.
I know it's still tight, but pretty good for the Rick Tocchet.
Well, and the thing about the NHL, the way they do it, where you get a point for a tie, it keeps the standing so tight.
Yeah.
All the time, where you lose, you actually lose in regulation 2 or 3 in a row, it can send you straight on down, as well as if you turn around and win, you can really make up some ground. So
PJ's a fan. PJ watches the Flyers all the time.
Yeah.
He's confident. I like it.
Yeah, I've got to agree with him. I think the way they're playing now, and so much young blood being put into this lineup, and they're all playing well, and the veterans are doing their job and holding their place down too. So I'm looking forward to it as we get, and even you could join in the conversation now, since you're going to start watching.
I will try
January.
to watch a little more often, but Flyers are playing well, and it's exciting. Wouldn't it be great, because it's been a while, wouldn't it be great to have both the Flyers and the Sixers hosting home playoff games in April and May?
That would be awesome.
It's been a while.
And the Phillies playing across the street. Wouldn't that
yeah. We can dream. That can be one of our hopes and dreams for 2026.
For 2026. There you
Bill,
go.
it's Christmas week. Do you make any, crazy Christmas plans? Like, do you guys have any traditions that you do every year as a family?
No. And as we used to do stuff, obviously, when my parents were around, and we would always go up for Christmas, but I got 3 boys, none of them live in the state of Florida, and we aren't going to see any of them this Christmas. No. So it's we're going to be here doing our own little thing, and they're all doing stuff. So it's going to be different this year.
Yeah, well, we have a son and a daughter. We see our daughter frequently. She lives like 15 minutes south of us. But our son has been living in New Orleans the last 4 years, hasn't been up here in about 1.25 years. Now, we did see him down there over the summer, but he is actually in New York today, and we'll be picking him up at the Hamilton train station later tonight, bringing his girlfriend with him also. So we have met her also, so that'll be fun. Yeah, so we'll be spending time with the kiddos over the next 4 days quite a bit, and that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, enjoy it, because when you get in a situation where you're not going to see them, it's you wish you were going to see them.
Yeah,
so we tried.
Be a fun week.
Yeah, with the weddings and stuff that we had, we got to see them all at Thanksgiving, and when Billy happened to be, the Colts were in Jacksonville here just a couple of weeks ago, we made the trip up there, spent some time with him, because we knew it was in season. We weren't going to see him at Christmas. He's got a game last night and one this Sunday. So we went to Jacksonville and visited with him and all that. But yeah, just a little different this year.
I know we were going to talk about the college football playoffs. We did briefly with Ken, but none of those games are this weekend. I believe they are all on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So we can hold off till next week and talk about them.
But don't forget, if you care,
Penn State,
Clemson in the Pinstripe Bowl Saturday at noon. You might have more interest than any of the players in that game. The last count, I know there were 17 Clemson players not playing.
Really?
I don't know what the Penn State number is. It's big also. So I don't know who you're going to see, or if you care to even watch. The Bulls are in trouble.
I'll check it out if I'm available, for sure, because, hey, it's Penn State. It's, the holiday time. Put it on. Right. Hope for the best.
It's Saturday at noon, right? What else are you going to do?
Wrap it up, Bill. Wrap it up.
Vacation stuff. All right, let's thank tonight's special guest, Ken Dunek, our sponsors, the Irish Rover Station House, Cavs Philly Tailgates, PPCC 118 Raz Room. For Jim Chet Chesko, this is Bill Furman. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'll join Philly Pressbox Radio next Tuesday, December 30th, 7 p.m. You can see us live on Facebook, on our Philly Pressbox Radio YouTube channel, and on the STT Sports Network YouTube channel, and listen on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and all the others. High hopes, Philadelphia sports fans. Go Birds. Let's go Flyers. Let's go Sixers. And most importantly, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Bill, in the final promo that I put out about an hour ago, I mentioned that you were going to sing Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Want to give it a go?
No, you should have given me a better one than that. I'm dreaming.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we'll postpone that. Maybe next year we'll sing, or next week we'll sing Auld Lang Syne or something like that.
There you go.
All right, here we go. Little Eagles video to wrap things up. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Let's do the song. Come on.
Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fly, Eagles, fly, on the road to victory. Everybody, come on.